Quote, "He is a light among kings who is endowed with liberality, grace, love for his subjects, and a desire for just rule." Throughout history, leadership has taken many forms. Some rulers have been feared, others loved. But the ones remembered as a light among kings, the ones who stand apart in the pages of history, share certain virtues: liberality, grace, love for their people, and a deep commitment to justice. Today, we explore what it truly means to be such a leader. We'll uncover the deeper meaning behind this quote, analyze its wisdom from religious and scientific perspectives, share a powerful story of leadership, and understand how it applies to our daily lives. Stay with me, because this might just change the way you see leadership forever. Meaning of the quote: "He is a light among kings who is endowed with liberality, grace, love for his subjects, and a desire for just rule." Let's break this down. To be a light among kings means to shine brighter than others, to be a beacon of hope, wisdom, and virtue. Leadership is not about power alone. It is about illuminating the path for others. Liberality means generosity, not just in wealth but in opportunities, education, and kindness. A true leader is one who gives rather than hoards. Grace refers to the ability to rule with dignity and composure, treating even one's enemies with fairness and wisdom. It is not weakness but strength under control. Love for his subjects is what differentiates a tyrant from a true leader. A ruler who cares for their people rules not for personal gain but for the well-being of all. And finally, a desire for just rule means the commitment to fairness. Justice is the foundation of a stable kingdom or society. Without it, no empire, no nation, no community can truly thrive. This quote describes an ideal leader, one who is not just powerful, but worthy of admiration. Religious perspective: the idea of a noble and just ruler is deeply rooted in spiritual teachings across cultures. Many sacred texts emphasize that true leadership is not about dominance but about service. In ancient wisdom, a ruler is often compared to a shepherd, one who must care for their flock, ensuring their safety, nourishment, and well-being. A leader's duty is not to exploit, but to uplift. There are stories of kings who ruled with arrogance and met tragic ends, contrasted with those who ruled with humility and were blessed with prosperity and peace. The lesson here is clear: power must be wielded with responsibility, and authority must be balanced with compassion. The greatest leaders are those who do not see themselves above their people but among them. They understand that their power is a gift, one that must be used wisely, for the good of all. Scientific perspective: leadership is not just a concept of philosophy or spirituality. It is deeply studied in psychology and science. Neuroscientists have found that leaders who exhibit generosity and fairness activate trust networks in the human brain. When people feel valued and cared for, they are more productive, loyal, and willing to follow. Social psychologists talk about servant leadership, a concept where the best leaders prioritize the needs of others before their own. Studies show that businesses and organizations led by servant leaders tend to have higher success rates, better employee satisfaction, and long-term stability. History also supports this. Empires and nations that thrived for centuries often had rulers who focused on justice and the well-being of their people. In contrast, those that fell into corruption and oppression crumbled under their own weight. Biologically, humans are wired to respect leaders who display fairness, empathy, and moral integrity. This means that the wisdom behind this quote is not just poetic, it is scientifically proven. Let me share a story about a king who was once called the light of his people. Long ago, in a prosperous kingdom, there ruled a king named Amal. He was loved by his people because he listened to them, walked among them, and understood their struggles. His court was open to all, and he made sure even the poorest could have their voices heard. One day, his advisors warned him of a rebellion brewing in a distant village. They urged him to send soldiers and crush the unrest before it spread. But King Amal refused. Instead of sending an army, he traveled to the village himself, alone and unarmed. He sat with the villagers and listened. He learned that they were starving because corrupt officials had stolen their grain. Rather than punishing the villagers, he punished the corrupt officials. The rebellion never happened. Instead, the people cheered their king, and his reputation as a just ruler spread across the land. Years later, when a neighboring empire tried to invade, Amal's people stood by him, not out of fear, but out of love. His kingdom remained strong, not because of swords, but because of justice. The lesson? True leadership is not about force. It is about understanding, fairness, and love for those you serve. How it applies to everyday life: you may not be a king ruling over a kingdom, but leadership exists in many forms. If you're a parent, your children look to you for guidance. If you're a teacher, your students rely on your wisdom. If you're a manager, your employees thrive under your care. Leadership is not about titles, it's about how you treat those around you. Do you lead with fairness, generosity, and grace? Do you uplift others, or do you demand obedience? Even in friendships and relationships, we have a choice: to dominate or to support, to take or to give, to rule with selfishness or with love. The best leaders, whether kings, CEOs, or everyday people, are those who lead not with an iron fist but with an open heart. They are the ones who are remembered, respected, and followed, not out of fear, but out of admiration. The world needs more leaders who shine with wisdom, grace, and justice. Will you be one of them? Thank you for joining this exploration of wisdom. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into timeless truths. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and every great idea begins with a strong foundation. See you in the next episode.